So I'm on now, right? Okay, I'm mic'd. It is such a treat to be with humans. Such a rare treat in my world to be able to be in a sanctuary with you. So thank you, and maybe you feel the same. Storms have come, huh? Yeah, we're getting on the other side of it. Fingers crossed. Thank you, God. The talk title today, I don't know if it's up here, but it doesn't matter, is Finding the Gift. And that's, that was the name of the song we did, right? It's all a gift. How do we find the gift in all these situations in our lives? But my talk title has a subtitle, so it's Finding the Gift, Must Be Present to Win. So let that roll around in your head for a second. Finding the gift must be present to win. Sometimes I like to open with a joke, so I have a little joke for you. I hope you enjoy this. This is something that's happened back in the Middle Ages, and this in the town square, and there's a scaffolding that's built, and unfortunately, 3 people are about to go to the guillotine, so it's hysterical. So it's a doctor, a lawyer, and an engineer. True story. And it's the doctor's turn to go first. He steps up on the scaffold, and the executioner says, well, you do have one choice. You can go traditional style, face down, or you can choose to face the blade, turn around, face the blade. And the doctor says, I'll face the blade. And so he puts his head in the block, and the executioner pulls up the rope, and then he lets it go. And here it goes, and it stops just before his neck. And the whole crowd that's gathered in the square, they all murmur, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. And the executioner says, well, sir, the hand of God has saved you. You are free to go. So the next guy steps up, the lawyer. He says, well, I'll face the blade too. And the guy hauls the rope back up. And the guy puts his head in the thing, and he pulls the rope. Here comes again. And again, it stops right before his neck. Another miracle. The crowd murmurs, and he's free to go. So finally, it's the engineer's turn. He says, well, I'll face the blade too. And he puts his head on the block. The guy pulls the rope up. And he's just about to pull it when the engineer says, no, wait. I think I see the problem. So maybe he didn't find the gift in that situation. Finding the gift must be present to win. Well, I want to tell you how that song came to me. I was singing for an intensive workshop weekend in Italy, in this little island off the coast of Sicily. And I'd just gone through this really opening exercise. And I was sitting there on this in this chair, and I was just wide open. I remember I had my hands like up in the air, just in this kind of really wide open receiving mode. And in my mind, I heard this voice. And the voice said, it's all a gift. And it kept repeating over and over. And with every repetition of that phrase, it got deeper and deeper into me. It's all a gift. It's all a gift. All of it. Every single bit. Every single thing that happens to you. It's all a gift. And it got into me in a way that I'd never felt it before. To let every little part of our lives be a gift. Because if you're like me, sometimes you're busy trying to stop it all from happening. Everything that's coming at us. But I think if you think about it, your higher self is asking for every single lesson that's coming. It's like we want to grow our spiritual muscles, don't we? We don't want to be the same. Just, okay, we're good. I'm good. I'm fully grown. I'm fully realized soul. No. Our higher self is asking for these lessons, but our lower mind self, if you're like me, it's almost like you have this ping pong paddle, and whatever's coming, you're trying to bat it away, like, no. But you asked for it. On some level, you're yearning to grow your spiritual muscles. It's all a gift. And some people would say, well, I don't want these challenges. Can I just have it be easy? With nothing coming at me. Well, let me propose something to you. Imagine that you're sitting down to watch a 2-hour movie. And then you sit down, you're ready, and the movie starts. And what if for the next 2 hours in that movie, what if everything went right? Would that be an interesting movie? It'd be boring. That's not how life works. That's not the part where you do the overcoming, the hero's journey, the stretching. I remember I took the EST training. Anybody remember EST from a million years ago? And I remember the thing that sticks in my mind most from that is at one point the instructor was on the stage in this room full of 400, 500 people. And he, kind of at the top of his voice, and I won't yell as loud as he did, but he said, "You need your problems. You need your problems." And we're all going, well, what's he talking about? That's not my theory of life. And he said, because without problems, what would you do? You'd have nothing to solve. It's like we need that stretch, that growth. Sometimes it takes forever to see the gift in a situation. Have you had this happen? Where like a year or two later, you go, oh, now I get it. I wrote a song called In Time. In time, we see the working out. And we find that there's peace there. And you may not see it in the moment you're in. So just think of some issue, some big chaos that was happening 5 years ago in your life. And now from this perspective, maybe you see why that had to happen. You know what I'm talking about? So, and it did resolve itself and found a place of peace. And now think about what mess are you in this week? And can you take that principle and just go ahead and claim your peace ahead of time? And just like that trust, okay, it's finding its way. I don't see it now, but I can apply that principle. In time and time, we see the working out. And we find that there's peace there. Now I have a little story about me, and it's not dramatic in a huge way, but it was a fun realization. And this goes back to me in the 5th grade. Okay, so we're going way back, and it was the day before Valentine's Day, and we had a little assignment: make a Valentine's card. And so we were, sitting at our desks, bunch of 10-year-olds, and making our Valentine's cards, cutting and pasting, back when it really was cutting and pasting, and nobody finished in time. So the teacher said, and this is for a grade, believe it or not, so take these home, finish them at home, and then come back the next morning and just put them on my desk. So I took, my half-finished Valentine card home, and, did all the cutting and pasting, and then it was, it's time to write a little verse, a little poem, because that's what cards have, right? So and then almost immediately, these 4 lines of kind of pretty poetry just came out. It's almost like automatic writing, I guess, and as a 10-year-old. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. And then I kind of finished it, folded it up, and got it ready to take in the morning. And we all came in and put it on her desk, like she said. And about 5 minutes later, she comes by my desk and says, I just looked at your card, Charlie, and I can't give you credit. I'm going to have to give you an F. So what are you talking about? I says, well, I looked at your card, and it's obvious to me that you copied this out of a Hallmark card, and I can't give you credit. So I did not. I said, no matter what I said, she wouldn't believe me. Now, granted, I was a little bit of a rascal back then, and I can understand maybe she wouldn't, but it hurt my heart. I could never convince her. It's like, no, I wrote that. And so about 10 years ago, that memory came back, and I realized, oh my God, I just saw the gift in that. My teacher was telling me that as a 10-year-old, I was already writing at a professional level. What a reframe, huh? So how can we reframe things in our past, in your past, to see it differently? Maybe there's a different message in there. Finding the gift must be present to win. Let's be more aware. Maybe you can see it from a different perspective. Finding the gift must be present to win. A lot of times in our world, there are things that are happening that, this question, maybe you've said it, we hear it a lot, like, how could God let that happen? How could God let that happen? And that kind of almost puts God as this old white-haired man in the sky kind of perspective. But what if God is the energy of love, the energy of creative energy, and what God is letting happen is what we do with each moment in our lives? That's what God's letting happen. Is every moment is a fork in the road, isn't it? Every single split second is a fork in the road. And we're always either choosing love or fear. That's what God's letting happen, that we have this pivot point of choice with every single event in our lives. And what fork in the road are you going to take? Are you going to go for fear and just that sense of separation? Or stay with love, stay with God's viewpoint, you might say, that higher perspective? Every moment's a fork in the road. It reminds me of another song I wrote, everything's an opportunity to forgive. So it's kind of the same choice. Are you going to go for fear or just let it go? Love. And in the song it says it's a momentary choice and it's happening constantly. Remembering which voice will bring my joy to me. There's the word of the day. Are you going to go down this road or this road? Every moment. That's what God is letting happen with everything that's happening in our lives. I want to tell you another story of how I found a gift in a situation that didn't look like there was a gift. As a touring musician, I toured a lot of Unity churches for 40 years now, believe it or not. And since I got out of my little architecture cubicle and took this giant leap into the unknown. And part of what I do is I book things 5, 6, 7 months ahead because a lot of church schedules, that's how their calendars work, right? You have to plan ahead. And I had this tour set up through South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia a number of years ago. And on about 5 days' notice, a Unity Church in South Carolina canceled my Wednesday concert, Thursday workshop. And that's not how it works. I needed months to plan ahead. And it's like, and for about a split second, I said, this is horrible. What am I going to do? But then I had a quick shift into, I guess God wants me somewhere else. And that was pretty good for me, to just 1 minute of chaos in my mind and then, I guess something else is supposed to happen. So how can I find the gift in this? So I thought, I want to book something during that middle of the week. It's not going to be a church, so maybe I can do a house concert or two. And I thought, okay, I have a friend in Virginia, and she has sponsored me before, and I called her up, and she said, sure, we can do a Tuesday night. And then I remembered another friend way up in New Jersey, had a house on a lake, kept saying we got to do a concert someday, so I booked that. Okay, I got a Tuesday and a Thursday. I guess God wants me somewhere else. And so I proceeded. I started doing the tour. And on that Tuesday night, I got a text from an old girlfriend who said, hey, I saw you're going to be in New Jersey. Maybe I can drop in and see that concert in 2 days. I thought, that's nice. Now she's a friend. And then the next day, Wednesday, she said, yeah, it looks like I'll be there. I'm thinking, that's good. That'll be nice to see her. And then the concert happens. She shows up, and my heart just goes boom, 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 boom. It's like, and we couldn't keep our eyes off each other, and we haven't been apart ever since. A year and a half later, we got married on the Thweatt beach. You have a photo of our wedding beach on your wall. And I guess God had wanted me somewhere else. So, would you all breathe? I'm having trouble with this. Let's take a deep breath together. I need it. I think when you breathe, it helps me energetically. So what if I had argued with this minister in South Carolina and said, I'll take nothing. I need to be there. I need a gig. I need to sell CDs. No. Maybe God wants you somewhere else. When you think it's supposed to go a certain way, finding the gift must be present to win. Be available to what life is bringing you. There's a song I wrote recently. It's called Tell Me Stories. And there's a line in there that really applies to this. Life is streaming. And all the while you're dreaming of some castles in the air. But then here's the pivot. Are you insisting, does your insisting mean that you are missing all the love that's waiting there? Does your insisting mean that that you're missing all the love that's waiting there? Sometimes we insist, no, it's got to go this way. It's got to go this way. No, be available for what love is bringing you, what life is bringing. I don't know if you noticed, two of the songs that I've already sung today is about letting go of control. And it's so easy to think like we're in control of things. No, we're not. You know we're not. You know you're not. But we keep pretending, if I could just control this. Finding the gift. Be present for the gift arriving, not your idea, not my idea. There's a great quote in A Course in Miracles. I'll be leading a Course in Miracles workshop this afternoon. I invite you to attend. I've led this many, many times. It's always amazing. I'll say it's miraculous. How's that? The places we can go in a quick amount of time to such a deep connection and fun. It's a lot of fun too. But there's a quote that reminds me of this, and it's in any chaos situation, the truth is that you could see peace instead of chaos. But we choose to see what we're seeing, but you know that God is in that situation. You know that there's a reason for all of this. And so one of the title lessons in A Course in Miracles, I could see peace instead of this. So think of something in your life you'd like to apply that to. Maybe just put a picture in your mind. What would you like to see peace? So just picture that, and let's, as a group, let's say that together. I could see peace instead of this, together. I could see peace instead of this. Let's say that again. I could see peace instead of this. Because if you go deep, you know peace is there. You know that stillness, the presence of God is in every situation. It's just our job. Maybe we're not seeing it. Maybe we're missing it. But we know it. We know it's there. We know that fork in the road is available. I could see peace instead of this. I want to read a couple of more phrases from that lesson. It says, peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. It must begin with your own thoughts and then extend outward. If you're starting at chaos in your center, you're probably not likely to create peace out there, are you? Yeah, so we start here, we work out. And then it says, it is from your peace of mind that a peaceful perception of the world arises. I could see peace instead of this. So let's start here, claiming that, and then find the gift through that. I could see peace instead of this. I'll tell you one more story, and this is about my journey with my mother. And she went through a 7.5 year decline into Alzheimer's, and then she passed away a few years ago. And so it's easy to ask, how do you find the gift in this situation? What could be the gift in this? I'm sure that many people in this room have relatives or friends or some connection, and you're having this experience as well. And it's difficult. And what I did find, one gift I found was how I could be a gift. Some of you might know my mom taught me ukulele when I was 8 years old. So that's how I got started playing music. And so fast forward, now here she is with Alzheimer's. And what I noticed is when I would come and visit as regularly as I could, and I'd find the old ukulele at the house. Dad, where's that ukulele? And I tuned it up, and I would start playing these same songs that she taught me. And before I would play, she wouldn't be very coherent or present. As soon as I did the music, she was right there present, smiling, singing along like her old self. It's like this magical key. You just turn, and it's like, and maybe you've heard about this. Music finds another part of the brain, and it's just like, boom, Mom was there, happy as a lark. So sometimes it's not how do I find the gift, but how can I be a gift in the situation? And finding the gift is almost a little bit of a what's in it for me. And we can flip that to what's in it from me. What's in it from me? How can I bring something to the situation? Finding the gift. Finding how to be a gift. There's one other little thing I'll tell you, and this is back when I first got started with Unity at a big Unity church in Houston, down in Texas, and that's where I first stood on stage and started to share these spiritual songs I'd been writing in my living room, and found an audience and got nervous and did it anyway. And I remember I got really involved in kind of a musical program there, and it really, really nurtured me and got me on my path. And I have this little memory of being home on a Sunday afternoon after church and washing my car in the driveway. And I remember I was doing the hubcaps, and this little tune came to me, just a little ditty, a little two-liner. But I love what it says. The words are, all the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. All the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. And what I'm getting from that is, we get lost. We maybe lose track of who we are, like Christ's self. And then come back home. Just keep back in touch. Okay, I got lost. Come back home. You see what I'm saying? Is we lose our way, we forget, and I remember. Just it's a process of forgetting and remembering, isn't it? Just come back to self, come back to center, come back to that Christ that lives in each of us. All the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. This is the gift. This is the gift that always takes us down that fork in the road of love. All the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. Should we sing that? All the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. All the Christ inside me wants is for me to keep in touch. And there it is, finding the gift. Must be present to win. Thank you very much.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.